I'm happy to give you some more details on the Dolly Varden silver story and our quest for 100 million ounces of silver in the Golden Triangle. So I will be making some forward-looking statements throughout my presentation. So we are anchored with a modern resource. This is a project that has been known about and has been producing on and off for the last 100 years. There was two major stints of production, one in and around 1920 and the other throughout the 1950s. So about 20 million ounces of silver have been produced from this project. What makes the Dolly Varden Silver Project very unique is it is a pure silver mine. So it's that 30% that Peter talked about in his presentation that is the pure silver plays. And that's what this is. It's in a safe jurisdiction. It's a pure silver mine. There's very little byproduct. And the grades are exceptionally high. So what we've done here is we've published a modern resource estimate, and the bulk of that resource estimate is in the indicated category, and the grades are superb. We've got an average grade of about 300 grams per ton. So roughly 44 million ounces in all categories. Looking at the structure of the company, we roughly have about a $70 million market cap today, with 44 million ounces of high-grade resource in the ground. 53% of the company is held by institutional investors. So these are your Sprott Asset Managements, your Delbrooks, your U.S. Globals of the world, the renowned precious metals institutional investors. Just under 19% is Mr. Eric Sprott. And then we've got a corporate investor in Hecla. And just a little history in terms of Hecla and Dolly Varden. There was a takeover attempt by Hecla back in 2016, and they've subsequently maintained a share position. And they also do have some rights, an auxiliary rights agreement, and do have a representative on the board and are active with our technical committee. And they did subscribe for financings last year to the tune of about $2.5 million in direct investments. So we've got a very liquid stock. I believe we traded roughly 500,000 shares today, and on a fully diluted basis, under 150 million shares. A very limited amount of warrants at an exercise price of north of $1. And we've got a very, very healthy cash position at around 20 million Canadian dollars. So where are we? We're in a part of the world here, the Golden Triangle. If I drew my cursor around KSM and Brucejack in this 20-kilometer area, we've got one of the richest endowments of metals on the planet. In resource estimates, about 200 million ounces of gold, 800 million ounces of silver, 50 billion pounds of copper. This is, one of the most exceptional camps on the planet. And the exciting part for me is the Golden Triangle is just getting started. We've got infrastructure into the area now. Ice is receding. We've got a government that is pro-mining and is helping companies. As long as we respect our First Nations partners and we respect water, we receive permits in a timely manner. So it's an excellent area that's well endowed. It's got some of the biggest and richest copper mines in the north, gold in the center. And where we are at the southern end of the triangle is one of the least explored areas. So what I've done here on the left-hand side of the page is I've zoomed into where our claims are. The 44 million ounces that we have in our resource estimate is identified here with these red markers. We are sandwiched in between Hecla and Fury's Homestake Ridge deposit. So we are in a district. Fury has about 900,000 ounces of gold, 18 million ounces of silver, and it's right on our western border. Again, these are the early innings of discovery. Goliath, one of our neighbors to the west, just in an inaugural drill program, just hit about 35 meters of 6-gram gold equivalent on our western border. So there's constantly new discoveries being made in the area. This is an area that's seeing a flurry of activity this summer, with Hecla drilling on the east, Goliath to the west, Libero here in the center. And then, of course, we've had a very active drill campaign on our property this year. Again, here's some of the infrastructure in the area. So we've got a road that comes in from Alice Arm. We did a very strategic deal last year, December 7th, 2020. We purchased the surface rights. So we control the deepwater seaport into the area, which is very strategic. We also have this road that comes right onto our property. As you can see here from topography, unlike some of the other parts of the northern parts of the Golden Triangle that are on the sides of mountains, the topography is a lot less challenging here, leading to a far deeper work season. We've got power into the area, roads into the area, and of course we can barge up equipment through Alice Arm. Again, making the case for investors, because of the nature of the deposit, because of where it is, you've got maximum leverage to rising silver prices. It's in a safe jurisdiction. It's a high-grade deposit. We've got a very strong management team, but it's really the exploration potential that I want to talk about today. It's the 4.5 kilometer trend where we have 100 occurrences. And it's a question of within one of those occurrences, can we find another 50 million ounce silver deposit? Again, looking at our board of directors here, this is a team that has worked on some of the largest silver companies on the planet, companies like Coeur, Hecla. We've got a very talented technical team that has incubated companies that have led to takeovers. And that is something that we're trying to recreate here at Dolly Varden. Looking at our resource estimate, the bulk of our resource estimate is in the indicated category. In addition to the compliant resource estimate, as you can see here, we did some metallurgical testing and the recoveries are strong. They're in the high 80 percentile. This is looking at where the bulk of the ounces lie at the Dolly Varden project, which is the TORBRIT mine. So at TORBRIT, as you can see here in light pink, about 18 million ounces were pulled out of TORBRIT at roughly 466 grams per ton. And as you see in a darker red color, there is a big part of the ore body that is still intact, about 25 million ounces indicated. And as our 2020 program had shown, there's a lot of room for expansion. We successfully hit in hole 244 last year, 300 grams of silver over 45 meters. And there's a lot of opportunity for expansion along strike, at depth. We're in the midst right now of a 10,000 meter drill program where we've completed about 8,500 meters. We haven't released any results from that drilling as of yet. So we anticipate as we get into October, November, December, right through to February, we're going to continue to be putting out a lot of results, and we are still drilling today. And the big goal here is if you look at TORBRIT, and if you look at what's been produced and what's still left intact, this is a 53 million ounce silver deposit, 53 million ounces at production grades close to 500 grams per ton, resource grades at around 300 grams per ton. And this is what we're after in the exploration program this year. And again, because this is an older project, we're able to use some of the modern methods, factoring in things like LIDAR, looking at structure, looking at the strong potassium alteration, looking at sodium depletion. We've got a large signature here. And how we've allocated exploration meters and dollars this year is 50% around the TORBRIT mine. So we're looking at expanding TORBRIT along strike at depth. We're looking to infill. We're looking to gain more confidence around TORBRIT. But the other 50% of the opportunity is what really excites me, and that is to try to find the next TORBRIT. This is another view here. So we've got these basins, these mineral-filled basins, this horizon that goes on for 4.5 kilometers, and infilling in between mines in our resource estimate, like TORBRIT, like new opportunities like Wolf and North Star. And again, these are some of those 100 silver occurrences identified in black markers here. And so 50% of the exploration meters are going to go after these new targets. And if we look at some of the other big silver mines in the area, Eskay Creek is a great example where 200 million ounces of silver were produced at over 2,200 grams per ton. What started as a high-grade silver mine turned into a very, very rich gold deposit. So what we're starting to see on the western edge of the property is we're getting into gold zones. So some of the exploration focus this year, we hope to produce some metals other than silver. So we're looking for gold, looking for copper, in addition to our silver results. Again, it's a target-rich environment. And again, we got some sniffs in the 2020 program of some elevated gold and copper numbers. We had samples that were ranging up to 4% copper, and we'll be following up on those this season. Social license and the ability to permit and the ability to work with local communities is paramount. We're part of an organization called the BC Regional Mining Alliance. Other members of this organization include Ascot, Skeena, our First Nations partner, the Nisga'a, and the BC government. And this is an organization where we get together and we discuss the benefits to both the stakeholders, the shareholders, and I'm happy to report that a third of our workforce is from the Nisga'a Nation. To recap, we've got a pure high-grade silver resource, a lot of room for discovery expansion. We're in a safe, mining-friendly jurisdiction. We've got great leverage to rising silver prices. There is the M&A opportunities regionally. As you can see, we're in a district. We've had some competitive tension in the past. We've had takeover offers in the past, but we're also open to look beyond our region at accretive opportunities. And having a healthy cash balance, there are opportunities that we're reviewing weekly. We love hearing from shareholders and love inquiries. This is our contact information, and look forward to taking questions.